people here today that I think all came ready not only to learn, but to figure out how they were going to take action. And just by starting off the morning with the words of Kathy Adams Shepherd, she not only reflected on her own experience over at Trinity in Newtown, but really on what that means and how folks can learn from that and bring it into their congregations.
I've never been what I would call politically active, unless you call preaching and living the gospel that. But I'm learning more than I ever knew about guns, high-capacity magazines, background checks, gun trafficking, mental illness, and violent death in the days since December. Gun violence kills more than 30,000 Americans every year, including 2,800 children and teenagers.
I thought it was important to come to honor George. That's why I originally came, thought that I live in the suburbs and I didn't think it was going to be that important, that I was going to be learning that much stuff. Guess what? I've already learned a lot.
This is not a black issue, this is not an urban issue, this is not a suburban issue, this is an American issue. Sudbury, Roxbury, Chelsea, Wellesley, Weston, Dorchester.
You know, it's interesting, a woman came up to me after I spoke this morning and said that she's struggling to have her community even connect in some way to this. And I understand that from previous to December. Unfortunately, if it stays the way it is, there won't be very many of us who aren't touched by it. So it has to change. We've got to wake people up.
So I'm trying to help you become as sophisticated as possible as citizens, as Christian citizens, as advocates for the substance of these two causes: ending gun violence, lifting people out of poverty.
It is important that the church be doing this work because we are called to do it. And when you preach, you should preach with the Bible in one hand and your newspaper in the other. I think all Christians, I think the gospel, and really biblical theology, is a theology that says, look at the people around you, define who your neighbor is, and do justice.
Can you get all of your colleagues to sign on to a letter to hang on?
I think that the thing that's so impressive for me is that there's something here today that everybody can do in terms of violence in our cities, in eastern Massachusetts, but also around the country. Because in any big movement that's bringing about the justice of the Lord, everybody has to do something. It's not just about the great prophets. It's not just about the people that have the most legislative power. It's about every single one of us doing something to promote Christ's peace in the world.
I had that moment of, do I even want to bother? Do I want to just sit down?
What I saw today was everybody coming together as one, and that's something that I do like seeing, because I feel as if we all come together, then that means we're a step further in the process. So especially seeing the youth here today, that's what gave me a lot more hope, because some youth, they think that they can't make a change because no one around them wants to do that. But when we were in the workshops, there was so many teens there, and being able to engage and interact with each other, even complete strangers that they didn't know, was something that was incredible to see.
I often go to the Holy Land, and one of the most sacred parts for me is going to the Mount of the Beatitudes, and where Jesus fed the multitude. And there, he talked about what it is that we're called to be, meek at times, strong at other times. He talked about the pure in heart. But one of the things he also said in the Beatitudes is, blessed are the peacemakers, not the peaceful, the peacemakers. That is an active engagement in ministry. And if we are peacemakers, says Jesus, then we will be known as, we will be called the children of God.